Students, we are going to study unit number 18, genetics. So in the previous class we have studied several topic, the type of the chromosome based on the functions and its position of the centromere, and we have studied the structure of the chromosomes. We have studied the structure of the DNA. So what is the DNA? What is the chromosome? So how that is a carrier of the inheritance character one generation to another generations. So these are the details we have studied in the previous class. So today we are going to study the topic Watson-Crick model of DNA. So why the name is given? Because Watts and Crick given the shape of the DNA. So this world level it is accepted by that all the scientists. So that's the way they have given their names Watson-Crick model of DNA. We are going to study in detail about that what is given by the Watson-Crick methods, what they have told that about the DNA structure. So these are the details today we are going to study. So in our book textbook page number 267 Watson-Crick, so there are many explanation is given by Watson-Crick. So what are the things? So that's the things we will study. So first we should know that is what is cells, what is the nucleus, where is the chromosome, where is the DNA, where is the gene. So see these we should know that. So when you take it is a cell. So cell consists of the nucleus. So inside the nucleus the chromosomes are present. Chromosomes composed of the gene. The gene is composed of the DNA. So this is the general about the DNA. So where the DNA is present, so all over we can able to say that is the in nucleus. So in the form of the chromosome or in the structure of the chromosome. So where the nucleus is present inside the cell. Each and every cells they have the nucleus. Each and every nucleus they have the chromosome. Each and every chromosome they have the gene. Each and every gene they have the DNA. So when you go for a DNA structure, that is the nitrogenous spaces and phosphorus, sugar, whatever may be. So this is the basic of the cells and the components of the DNA. So we should clear on this. So then only we can able to study very clearly without confuse of the which is the chromosome, which is gene, which is the DNA. Cell is there, nucleus. So inside the nucleus chromosome is present. The chromosome consists of the gene. The gene is consist of the DNA. So this is the basic things of the DNA. So Watson-Crick model of DNA. First points. DNA molecule consists of the two polynucleotides chain. So what is the polynucleotides chains? So when you go for that is a nucleotides, so already told that is the next slide we are going to study. So this is the one, another one is this. So when you take this is a one. So this is the another nucleotides chain. So the nucleotides chains are presence of the sugar and phosphorus and hydrogen bond, everything is there. But we should know that is the two polynucleotide chain is nothing. This is the one and another one is this. So very simple, we can take this. This is the one polynucleotide chains. Another one is this is a polynucleotide chain. So this is the hydrogen bond in between the two chain. So these are the details we are going to study. So here the Watson-Crick given that is when you take that is a DNA, there are two polynucleotide chains are present. They are found together. So anyway, but the polynucleotide chains, it's the conditions. So this is the conditions. So they have separate very clearly to come to know about that is a polynucleotides chains. So we should know that is a polynucleotides. What do you mean by the polynucleotides? So DNA is a large molecules consist of the millions of the nucleotides. So when you take that is a DNA, so where it comes from the chromosome. The chromosome have the gene have the many millions of the DNA. The DNA consists of the millions of the nucleotides. So what do you mean by the nucleotides? That's one. Hence it is also called as a polynucleotides. DNA consists of the millions of the nucleotides. That's why we call it a polynucleotides. Already we have studied this. What do you mean by the nucleoside and nucleotides? So sometimes they will ask that is what is a nucleoside? What do you mean by the nucleotides? So nucleoside is nothing nitrogen bases plus sugar. So which is the nitrogen bases? So this is the nitrogen bases. So this is we call is a sugar. So these two they call is a nucleoside. So once I repeat, so this is the nitrogen bases, adenine, guanine, cytosines, thiamines. So these are nitrogenous bases plus sugar that we call is a nucleoside. So what do you mean by the nucleotides? So nucleoside plus phosphate. So what is the nucleoside? Nucleoside is nothing nitrogen bases plus sugar. So we can take another method, nitrogen bases plus sugar and phosphate. So that we call is a nucleotides. So what are they? This is a nitrogen bases, sugar and phosphate. So these three of them is called nucleotides. Nitrogen bases, sugar and phosphate. So up to these two we call is a nucleoside, nitrogen base and sugar. So when you add one more thing is a phosphate group, so we all together we call is a nucleotides. So the previous slide we can say that is a DNA molecule consists of the two polynucleotides chains. So polynucleotide chains, so you come to know that is a, so this the nitrogenous bases and sugar and phosphate group. So this is a one chain. The other chain, so nitrogenous bases, sugar and phosphate. So this another chain. So this is one of the polynucleotides chains and this is the polynucleotides chains. So while we are writing, so you have to be more careful because it's very important. So if you are write polynucleoside chain means it's totally is different. If you are written like this means what will happen? So nitrogenous bases and sugar, but you lose that is a phosphate group. So it's wrong. So you have to be more careful while you are writing this sentence. DNA molecule consists of the two polynucleotides, not site. Nucleotides chain. So it means though this is the one chain, this is the another chain. Nucleoside, nitrogenous bases plus sugar. Nucleotides, nucleoside, it means nitrogenous bases plus sugar and phosphate group. So this is the one. So this is not nothing. This is a DNA composition, chemical composition of the DNA. So we can say like this. So double helical structure of the DNA. So the Watson Crick they have given that the structure of the DNA it's a double helical shape. So helical, it's nothing is a coin. We can take turn. So a certain time, it's a certain area, it is coin or turn. So that we call is a helical shape of the DNA. So we will see that these chains form a double helical structure with two strands which run anti-parallel to one another. So look at this. So we can take this is one of the polynucleotides chain. So it is moving and so it turn a certain area. It is a turn. After certain area, it is turn. This is a one polynucleotides chain. This is the another polynucleotides chains. So it's a certain area, it's a turn. So after that, it's a turn. So it seems to be like a coiled. So look at this there. So this we call is a double helical structure. Why we call is a double helical structure? This is a one strand. This is a another strand. The strand it's turn a certain area. It become like a coiled structure. So that's a way double helical structure with two strand. With this anti-parallel. Anti-parallel, you know that is a parallel means equal. Anti-parallel means one is comes this area towards this, another one comes towards this side. So that is we call is a anti-parallel to one another. So we will see that is a next point. Nitrogenous spaces in the center are linked to sugar phosphate unit which form the backbone of the DNA. So we have studies here nucleotides and there are double helical structure of the DNA. Why we are called is a double helical structure of the DNA? Because the two strand is a helical structure or coin together. A certain area it is turned and become coiled. So that's why we call it a double helical structure of the DNA. So now here the nitrogenous spaces in a center are linked to the sugar phosphate unit which form the backbone of the DNA. So here this is we call is a sugar. So this is we call is a phosphate group. So this we call is a nitrogenous spaces. So this is a nitrogenous spaces. So they are linked with the sugar and phosphate. So look at that is a center or linked to the sugar phosphate unit. So look at here. So sugar and phosphate group. So the two are given the support or backbone of the DNA. So they are support to the hydrogenous spaces. So adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosines, guanine, adenine, diamines. Already we told that is a purine and pyrimidine. So that's a detail we are going to study later. First, from these points, we should know that is a which is the backbone of the DNA. You have to able to say sugar and phosphate unit or the backbone of the DNA. Or we can say that is a backbone of the nitrogenous spaces. So which is the nitrogenous spaces? Adenine, guanine, cytosines, diamines. So these are the nitrogenous spaces. So it is supported by the sugar and phosphate. So this is the structures they will make it like this. So diamine, adenine, diamine, adenine, adenine, diamines, adenine, diamines, guanine, cytosines, guanine, adenine, diamines. So it will be variated according to the persons, according to the organism. Pairing between the nitrogenous spaces very specific, and it is always between purine and pyrimidines linked by the hydrogen bond. So pairing means, so here this is one of the nitrogenous spaces, this is another nitrogen spaces, they are pairing by hydrogen bond. So this is the hydrogen bond. Look at this, this is the hydrogen bond, this is the hydrogen bond, so this is the hydrogen bond. So the nitrogenous spaces pairing with the hydrogen bond. So this is the meaning of this. Pairing between the nitrogenous spaces is very specifically and is always between purine and pyrimidines linked by the hydrogen bond. It's not pair with that purine and purine. No, purine always pair with the pyrimidines. So this is a purine pyrimidines. So you should know that the pairing always is a purine always pair with the pyrimidines. Pyrimidines always pair with the purines. The next class we are next slide we are going to study about the what is purine and pyrimidines. Already we have studies what are the purine and what are the pyrimidines. Anyway, so from this we should know that is the purine always pair with the pyrimidines by hydrogen bond. So this is the hydrogen bond. So you never seen that is a adenine always pair with a guanine. It is not possible. If it is happened means that we call is mutations. The different variety or different type of the organisms maybe comes. It is impossible. If suppose is happening means that we call is a mutations. So later we are going to study. Okay, anyway, so the purine always pair with the pyrimidines by the hydrogen bond. You should know that. So look at that. Adenine links diamines with two hydrogen bonds. So look at that. Adenine, two hydrogen bond, 1 2 diamine. So look at here, adenine, diamine, two hydrogen bond, 1 2. Cytosines we call is a C, links with guanine we call is a G with 3 hydrogen bonds. So 3 hydrogen bond, look at here, cytosines, guanine, 1 2 3. Here adenine, diamine, 1 2. Here cytosines, guanine, 1 2 3 hydrogen bond. So look at here, adenine, diamine, 1 2. So this always is the same. Wherever the adenine diamine pairing, the hydrogen bond 2. Wherever cytosines pairing with the guanine, the hydrogen bond 3. So this is the symbol of that. C, 3 hydrogen bond, G. So if you are change this, is a totally is a wrong. So while you are writing, you have to be more careful. Adenine always pair with the diamine with 2 hydrogen bond. Cytosines always pair with the guanine with 3 hydrogen bond. So this is called complementary basis pairing. So you should keep in your mind, adenine never pair with the guanine. If it is happening means that we call mutations. Adenine always pair with the diamines with 2 hydrogen bond, not 3 hydrogen bond, only 2 hydrogen bond. There is no possible 3 hydrogen bond between adenine and diamine. cytosines not pair with the diamines. It always pair with guanine. Only 3 hydrogen bonds, not 2 hydrogen bond. It is impossible. Wherever you can see that, wherever you are going to draw the diagram, you be careful with this. So when you look at this, it may be is a little different they have given, but while you are drawing this diagram, you have to give 2 dot 1 2, or you can given 3 line dot here, because 3 hydrogen bond. Here only 2, because adenine diamine always 2 hydrogen bond. So this is also, you can keep it in mind. Hydrogen bonds between the nitrogenous spaces make the DNA molecule stable. So because of the hydrogen bond, nitrogenous bases make the DNA stable. Because it joined together, it is not able to move and pair with this. So it is a stable conditions. So just it's a tie up with 2 nitrogenous spaces. So if it is not there, means what will happen? It may be is a move from here to there. It not is a stable conditions. So it is tie up with is the adenine diamines with the hydrogen bond. It seems to be like a stable. It is not moving and pairing with another. So this is the meaning of this. The hydrogen bond between the nitrogenous spaces make the DNA molecule stable. It is not moving. The given or the stability of the nitrogenous bond is given by the hydrogen bond. So that maybe is asked us here 1 more questions. So the nitrogenous spaces stable because of the hydrogen bond. So you should know that. So that's the way they have given here. Hydrogen bonds between the nitrogenous spaces make the DNA molecule stable. It's not moving and pairing with another. So this is a purine pyrimidines. So purine pyrimidines. So purine pyrimidines. So it will be always, already we have studies, purine always pair with the pyrimidines. Purine not pair with another type of the pyrimidines. Guanine always pair with the cytosines, not diamines. Diamines also we call say pyrimidines, but it is not possible. So the guanine always pair with the cytosines. Adenine always pair with the diamines. So the purine pyrimidine is a pairing, particularly the adenosine always pair with the diamine. Guanine always pair with the cytosines. So you have more careful. So you should know that is the, it is always remaining and stable. So while you are drawing this diagram, you have to keep in your mind, or you follow that all the steps which we have studied. The pairing of the nitrogenous spaces. Adenine always pair with the diamine with 2 hydrogen bond. These are is the same. Sugar and phosphate group are is the same. Only the changes nitrogenous spaces with the hydrogen bond. So if the nitrogenous spaces is a guanine and cytosines, always 2 hydrogen bond. Is it correct? No. 3 hydrogen bond. Diamines always pair with the adenine 2 hydrogen bond. So it may be different. If they given is a correct the statement means, so you have to correct. So the adenine always is a pair with the diamines. So each turn of double helical is a 34 ohms, 3 nanometer. So look at this there. So this is the turn. It's always is a 3.4 nanometers. There are 10 spaces pairing in the complete turn. So while you are counting, it may be nearly 8. So 2 of them is missing with this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1 is covered with this area. Another one is covered with this area. Total is 10 nitrogenous spaces. So after 10 nitrogenous spaces, the turn may be stick. Each turn of the double helical is 34 ohms or 3.4 nanometer. They are 10 bases pairing in the complete turn. The nucleotides in a helical are joined together by the phosphodiester bond. So phosphodiester bond, the nucleotides is nothing, adenine, guanine, that we call is a nitrogenous spaces, sugar and phosphate. So these all together that we call is a phosphodiester bond. So this we call is a phosphodiester bond, means is nothing. The nucleotides in a helical are joined together by the phosphodiester bond. Jakob rules of DNA bases bearing. Erwin Jakob stated that in DNA the proportion of adenine is always equal to that of diamines. So wherever you can see that is a adenine always pair with the diamines. It means we can come to know that is always is a equal. So when you take this is the hydrogenesis bases here 1, 2. So 2 adenine, 2 diamines. Otherwise you can take here 1 adenine, 1 diamines. And 1, 2, 3. 3 guanine, 3 cytosines. So that's the meaning they have given. And guanine always equal to the cytosines. So the number of the guanines always is equal to the cytosines. The number of the diamines always equal to the adenine, because they only pairing together. Adenine always is a pairing with the diamines. So it means always pairing the each pair. That's why the equal amount of the adenine always equal amount of the diamines. The number diamines equal to the adenine. The cytosines equal to the guanine. So this is the things. So if you take is for the previous, so wherever is look at this, the 2 adenine, 2 diamines, 2 guanine, 2 cytosines, the equal number. So what you have to study? So the study materials explain the Watson-Crick model of DNA. So we have to explain that all the details. Very simple method they have given. First you have to say that is what is the nucleotides. So the 2 nucleotides chains are present. One is this one, another one is this. Then you have to explain that is the chain or double helical structure with the 2 strand. So they run to the anti-parallel shape. So this is one, another one is this. Then you have to explain the nitrogenous spaces supported or backbone of the DNA. So which help the unit of the sugar and phosphate group, that you have to explain that pairing with the 2 nitrogenous spaces is very specifically and is always between purine and pyrimidines links by the hydrogen bonds. So that's you have to explain that adenine always mingle with the diamines. Diamines always pair with the adenosines. The diamine equal number to the adenosines. So the two hydrogen bond you have to mention. The cytosines always is a pair with the guanine, three hydrogen bonds. So that you have to explain that. And hydrogens between the nitrogenous base make the DNA molecule stable. Because of the nitrogenous bases stable by hydrogen support, hydrogen bond support. So you have to explain that because of the hydrogen bond DNA structure is remained or nitrogenous basis is stable, so that you have to write. Then each turn, so there are 10 nitrogenous bases are present, 3.4 nanometer. So the each turn is taken the DNA, the nucleotides is all together by the phosphodiester bond. So that you have to explain that. Then you have to draw the diagram. Then more to know that just important things just you should know that is a number of the adenine is always equal to the number of the diamines. Guanine always equal to the cytosines. How many guanine is present, the same number of the cytosines present, you should know that. So these are the explanations you have to give. One more questions maybe is asked here. So the each turn of the double helical shape is dash, means you have to able to write. So the nucleotides in a helical are joined together by dash bond, you have to write that. One more questions may ask, hydrogen bonds between the nitrogenous base make the DNA molecule stable. So maybe called that is a dash between the nitrogenous make the DNA molecule stables that equal. So here maybe is asked as a match the following. Find out the error statement or find out the false statement and correct the statement, they may ask that. And the purines always pair with the pyrimidines. What are the purines? What are the pyrimidines? Two more questions may ask. So here nitrogenous bases in center are linked to the sugar phosphate unit which form the backbone of dash, means DNA. So these are the questions may ask us here, two more questions and one more questions. So if you ask us here 7 more questions, you have to explain all the points with the diagram. Thank you.